So it has been a minute since I've done a video for the channel, and I thought I'd take this minute to go ahead and go over how I use the Pedal for Worship service, kind of go over how I utilize snapshots, and then a couple things I've added to the board, nothing major or crazy, but kind of helps me utilize the board in dark areas and while I play out. So let's go over those. Most people like to use the 4-patch and 4-stomp method. I like to kind of focus on what's going on in the song. I'll break up sections of the song depending on how many delays or choruses or what kind of boosts I need. So what I'll do is I'll have a clean ambient and a swell always on all my presets with 2 bonus if I need them. A clean for some breakdown parts, a little bit of drive to push a song. I'll always have a clean setting with delay and a lot of reverb, and then I'll have a lead, and that usually is a little bit of a distortion or maybe a boost in the frequency. Another thing I like to do is I'll particularly name some sections like a bridge snapshot, but I'll also include certain riffs, so lead riff and slide riff, that kind of makes sense to me when I go to do the song. Instead of just doing, bridge, verse, chorus, breakdown. Just if that one patch scene set is specific for a riff, then I like to name it for that riff and move on. This is one of my custom patches I've made for myself. I'll use during recording or if I go out and play. But the bottom row is pretty much my go-to patch with the standard IR. And what I've done on the top is I've kind of given myself a quick jump onto, maybe if a mood strikes me different or if I'm looking for a specific mic. So a 412, a 57 and a 412, and a 412 with the 121. And then this is another type of new IR I've downloaded. But mainly this kind of helps me narrow down what kind of sound I'm looking for. These are all closed back 4x12s. And it could be just a deviation of something I'm looking for, but it'll help me narrow out a sound I'm looking for as well. And yeah, this is pretty much my go-to when I'm playing my own stuff. One of the few things I think that was a must after watching videos and listening to people was not go too crazy in the global EQs, because it does complicate things. That's why you have EQ blocks and crossover fades and all that stuff. Having the guitar pad on here was a must, and ensuring that I don't go too crazy, maybe adjust a small little bit of a parameter change in the global. Aside from that, I don't really mess with this too much. The one thing I like to do about tempos is I go in global and I set my tempo select per preset. That way I'm not worrying about tapping while I'm adjusting my guitar strap or anything crazy or mistapping the tempo. Another key thing that people seem to forget about is if you go to tap tempo pitch, make sure it's transparent. What happens is if it's selected to the other one, when you go to do a tap tempo while you have reverbs or delays on, you'll hear this weird like robotics pitch shift. And if you have it on transparent, it'll prevent that from happening. One of the things I just added to the board yesterday was I ordered a color kit from CEBA, Chad Boston. And this is super helpful for me. I mean, with a board like the Helix that has so many in and outs, you'll find yourself bending over to make sure you're putting it in the right section. So he sends you this little strip that you can color coordinate with the stickers, and it's printed upside right so you can view it from a board and see where it's at. It is also in the same position, so the top, which is mono, is the top, which is mono. For me, this is super handy for basically stop bending over, and when I'm on stage, making sure I'm connecting everything right. And for me, I've chosen green for all my ends to the board, blue and yellow for the loops, red and white is going to be outs for left and rights. And super easy to put on, very, very adhesive, match everything perfectly. So super excited for that. And overall, this board, when I used it about a week and a half ago on stage, was everything I was looking for it to be. for the sound and adjusting, using the IRs and the mix cabs. Definitely a treat.